Welcome back to another episode of Connecting with Creatives. I have Deja Brown. She is a graphic designer, illustrator, and I came across her portfolio on LinkedIn, and I was just like, hey, I have to have her on the show to tap in with her and get some insight and perspective from, your journey. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be talking to you today.
Absolutely. So I just want to let's go back, right? Let's go back to childhood to see, how did you discover you were an artist?
Yeah, I think, drawing has been something that I've always been a part of. My dad was an artist. My grandpa was an artist. So it's kind of just like something that passed down to me. But I realized that I really had a passion for it once I took a graphic design class in high school. And I was like, I want to do this. I don't know what it is, but I want to do this for my career. So that really just sparked this like fire inside of me to start creating.
So it's safe to say that it's in your blood, right? Like
I would say so.
You were born with the gift. So I honestly appreciate it. Your portfolio, the aesthetics is very unique. It's you. I haven't seen anything like it, and I come across a lot of portfolios, throughout the day. So, so tell us, how has your education played a role into your natural gift of, art?
Yeah, I think that's pretty interesting because, I did my high school education, which was just like average, typical. But then when I went to college and started pursuing graphic design full time, that really, first of all, taught me a lot about creativity and about design and illustration. But I think what really sparked me pursuing this full time was, during college, I didn't really have a lot of financial help. I had 4 jobs. So my other source of income was through selling art and creating and trying to get into art galleries around campus. So that really just taught me this hustle mentality to always just keep creating and pushing your work out there, because you never know what you can come across.
And where has that, what type of roles has that hustle mentality, that grind mode mentality, where has that led you?
It's led me very far. It's led me to New York City. It's led me to work with amazing clients such as Nike, Adidas, Coach. Just really being consistent and just constantly working, pushing my work out there has led me to some super cool opportunities.
So you just mentioned Nike and Coach. How did you get those opportunities? Who's seen your art and was like, hey, we got to have her on the team?
Sometimes I honestly don't know. I wish I did know. I know Coach had reached out to me through my website. So there must have been someone scouting online, and my work just so happened to fall into their lap, which was amazing. And similar to Nike, it was actually an apprenticeship that I had won. They did a competition throughout all of the East Coast and chose only 4 winners, and I was one of those people. But the way to get into that was through a competition. So it was a 2-day long competition of us just constantly designing, and I actually had COVID during the time of that competition. So, that hustle mentality of me, I was like, I have to just keep pushing no matter how bad I feel, which I'm happy I did, because that landed me the position that I got.
So as a coach in Nike has been, some of your clients now in a professional, from a professional lens, how have you been able to collaborate in that working environment? I'm pretty sure it's fast paced, right?
It's very fast paced. I also think it was a reality check for me, because art is very open and creative, but working with Nike, and a part of Nike was Converse. So working with Nike and Converse, it made me realize yes, this is a creative industry, but it's still corporate. So having to find that balance, and this is similar for Coach as well, but having to find that balance of creativity and professionalism, because sometimes, when you're creative, that line can get blurred.
Yes, absolutely. So what are some of the type of challenges you've experienced in the last few months, going from 22 to 23?
Yeah, I think, there's a couple of challenges. So the biggest one that I'm dealing with right now is my apprenticeship ended. So now I was like recentering myself. You know, I had a stable position for 7 months, and now I'm back to freelancing and back on hustling. So really just recentering myself and connecting back with my creativity. The other thing as well is learning how to adapt, especially with these bigger companies that have kind of a bigger reputation and expectation. Learning how to adapt to their style and how to work with team members, and really learning that style that they have and making sure that I can put that across all of my different designs.
So what do you think will be helpful to help you like ramp up, if you will, like to learn that, that environment, the language, and, that pace?
Honestly, the only thing that could have been, and which was helpful, was just really deep diving into it. Before I had worked with Nike, it was mostly like freelance clients I had gotten, but this was more like you're going into the office, you're designing. So there was really no way to prepare me for what it's like to be in a corporate creative setting, outside of just really diving into it.
Nice. So were you spending like, long nights? Were you taking work home? Right. Let me ask you that. Were you taking work home on a regular basis?
It was yes and no. So there was times where we were just slammed one week, times where I was like, what, there's nothing to do. And it was actually a remote position. So I would work from home, but they would fly me out to Boston, which is where Converse's head is located. They would fly me out to Boston once a month. So during that time, it was all hands on deck. But at home, it was also all hands on deck, but learning that balance of like work and life.
Right. So how were you able to find that balance? Because, I work remote, right? And it's sometimes it's challenging when you have a family, when you have a puppy, you have Amazon coming. What is your routine to kind of like get centered, if you will, and focused?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that's helped me is every morning I do gratitude journals and meditation. Those two things kind of just like start the day for me, just to not overthink, especially as a freelancer working from home. You are literally your own boss. So you have to find out like, what am I doing today to push myself forward? So doing those two things every morning helps center me, because there's days where there's no work coming through and you feel down, and then days where you're just like overwhelmed with work. So those are two like essential things, a part of my routine that I do.
I want to give a shout out to Jim Jones, because he had a quote recently. He was just like, when you're, I'm paraphrasing, if you're not, if it's hard for you to get motivated, just stay consistent. And it's funny you say that about your journals. I'm flexing right here because I have my journal and then my time blocker, and that's helped me. Like, that's been a game changer, right? Like, just staying like on point every day. I'm talking about the weekends too. I do that too. And I have a fitness routine that I do as well. Walk my puppy, and I'm centered and I'm good to go, and I can tackle the day. So so it's been
That's
very
amazing. I wish I had the fitness part down, but we're getting there.
hey, you know what? Just a 5-minute walk, you'll be surprised how impactful that will be. But you're in some cold weather right now, right? You're in
Oh my gosh.
Denver.
Yeah, in Colorado, I'm like, you can't even walk on the sidewalk without slipping on ice right now. So
Oh, is that bad out there?
yeah, it comes and goes.
Wow, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. So what is your dream job? Like, what is the next project that you have your eye on, and what's going to help you get there?
Well, right now I'm looking to move to California just to really explore that creative side of the world. I just moved back from New York, so I just want to try both coasts and see what really aligns with me. My dream job, I think my overall main goal is to eventually open a design agency, centered towards creating for musicians, because I'm also a musician. So that's my overall goal.